What's going on, guys? It's Greg here today, and we're going to be talking about how you guys can improve your accuracy on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer. Now, there's going to be 5 parts to this video I'm going to break it down with, and that's going to be setting up the private match, your sensitivity options, recoil testing, selecting attachments, and practice makes perfect. Or should I say, close to perfect, because nobody's perfect. So, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So first off, let's actually set up the private match. As you can see, I already put the bots in here, but for the settings, we're going to have round score limit to unlimited. We're also going to have the round limit to 1, and then we're going to go down to the gameplay tab, and we're going to have the radar on sweeping. And then whenever we go back to our game mode, we're going to select domination on Nuketown, and then we're going to add the bots in here. So you're going to want to choose settings that are comfortable for you, and I'm going to go over mine here, but the best thing I can tell you guys is go into a private match and just play around with these settings, see what feels good against playing against recruit bots, and just keep trying out different settings. And then once you find something that feels good, try it out for a week or two, see how it still feels after that, and then make some minor adjustments to it as you keep figuring out what feels good. So for whenever you want to test the recoil of a certain weapon, and you should always do this when you're learning a new gun, is just go in a private match, go to a wall, and just spray at it. You do not want to control it, you just want to take your thumb off the thumbstick and just shoot the gun. And what this is going to do is going to allow you to see the recoil pattern, so that way you can learn it, and all you have to do to counter recoil is just pull the thumbstick in the opposite direction that the recoil goes. As you guys can see, the 74U kicks up to the right in a diagonal line, so all you got to do is just pull the thumbstick down to the left in a diagonal line. Pretty straightforward. You're just going to do the reverse recoil pattern for any gun, and that's how you control it. This right here is just showing the attachments I like to use on the 74U and how much more recoil it has, as well as me basically controlling the recoil, or trying to control the recoil on the 74U. Alright, so whenever you're going to select the attachments, go ahead and take a look at the base stats of the weapon. You can do this. I like to just go on the Flash Guard 5.56, and the main reason I like to go on that attachment is because it doesn't really change anything else, so you can see the actual stats of the gun. Now I'm going to go ahead and start kitting out the weapon based off of that recoil pattern. Was it easy for me to control? And I'm going to start adding attachments also based off the handling statistics. So you're going to have to do this based off your play style, how you felt the recoil was, but once you're done, look at the final stats here, see how it looks, and give it a try. Practice doesn't make perfect because nobody's perfect, but you can definitely improve and you will become a lot better doing these drills as well as learning each individual weapon, and it's a very good thing for you to learn because you never know when you have to pick up somebody else's weapon, and you also just want to master every single gun in the game because it's fun. You get to learn every single gun, and there's a lot of different challenges, you know, camos and stuff like that. It's going to make getting camos a lot easier if you master each individual weapon. Now, let's go ahead and talk about 2 bonus tips I have for you guys, and that is going to be pre-firing versus trigger discipline. Now, I'm going to be going over the pros of each one, and the cons are going to be the pros of, well, the opposite one. So, for example, if we are talking about trigger discipline, the cons are going to be the pros of pre-firing, right? So I'm going to go ahead over those now, and we're going to discuss it afterwards. Pre-firing is probably one of the oldest tricks in the book, and there's not actually too many pros to it despite what people might think. The only pros you really have is suppression, which is going to hold enemies out from challenging you, as well as guns that have high initial recoil. They will be so much easier to control because usually their recoil starts to settle out after you've already expended a lot of ammunition. Now, there is one thing I didn't make mention of, and that's because this game doesn't yet have this kill streak, but it was found in the files, and that is pre-firing is effective if there is an advanced UAV or Blackbird style kill streak. And the main reason I say that is because you're already going to know where they're at, and you can pre-fire them, connect the bullets before they can even react. But in this game currently there is no Blackbird or advanced UAV style kill streak. So there's a lot more pros for trigger discipline, and this is why you'll see me pretty much do this in all of my gameplays. Number 1, you have easier recoil control on most guns. Most guns have a much harder to control recoil pattern the deeper you get into that pattern. So if you have easier recoil control by maybe only shooting 6 shots to kill someone rather than 14 because you're pre-firing, it's going to be a lot easier to win that gunfight. Also, it allows for you to be more stealthy. You're going to be on the radar a lot less, you're going to make less sound, and you can pretty much get into a gunfight, end it, and quickly move on to your next target, and that's why I absolutely love trigger discipline. Now, another thing is you're also going to have ammo conservation, which means you aren't going to have to reload as often, and you'll be able to take on multiple enemies with one magazine before you even have to reload. You should still have good reloading habits, but this is something that is very crucial whenever you are getting overwhelmed by a sheer number of enemies at one time. And another thing is it's going to make it easier for you to control recoil when you are swapping between targets, because if you are still shooting your gun and you are still deep into that recoil pattern, it's going to be a lot harder to recenter onto a target, and you're still going to have to be controlling that recoil while trying to switch to another target. So trigger discipline overall just has way more pros than it does cons, and that is absolutely the reason I personally like to have good trigger discipline. I personally think that pre-firing is definitely less useful in the majority of Call of Duty games as time has gone on, and that's mainly because of how recoil has changed in Call of Duty. Over the past few years, we have had actual recoil patterns and not randomness added to the guns, so it's pretty much now you can master it and you can get used to snapping between targets and having that same recoil pattern every single time you start a new gunfight. And in the past you would have random recoil, so it didn't really matter too much, and you could swap targets while still spraying or whatnot and all that kind of stuff. So nowadays I highly recommend adding trigger discipline into your arsenal of tactics, and if you haven't already, do try it out. Now, one of the things I wanted to say, and before this video ends and all that kind of stuff, is how you control recoil and how you aim and all that kind of stuff is just going to come with practice. There is no secret to it, and I do not condone using anything like a Cronus or cheating or anything like that using scripts. I just say practice and have fun with the game. Play if you actually do want to improve extremely fast, the best way, and this is something I used to do in the past and I don't do it anymore, and that is play competitive. So back in Black Ops 2, whenever I really cared about improving at Call of Duty and becoming really good and all that kind of stuff, I played a lot of competitive, and this was in the form of league play and game battles. Now, in the current state of the game, there is no league play, but there is game battles, and if you guys are interested, I would highly recommend doing that, because you're going to be playing against people that are way better than you or possibly on the same skill level as you, but you will improve much faster by playing against people that are better than you, because you have to play smarter, you're going to have to aim a lot better, and over time you will improve much faster. So I highly recommend doing league play or game battles. Again, once league play does come into this game, I would highly recommend it because it is going to help you guys improve your aim. But if you are happy where you're at, then just keep practicing again by playing the game, playing private match, trying out different setups, trying out the recoil patterns, all that kind of stuff, and over time you will see yourself become a better player. And yeah. Now, for the last thing I want to discuss is headshots, because headshots in Call of Duty have been very rewarding in recent years, and the main reason I say this is because it's going to decrease your time to kill by a lot, and it's going to decrease your bullets to kill by usually 1 shot, sometimes 2 shots. So the main reason I don't aim for the head is because it's not very practical, okay? I usually just let the recoil get me a headshot, and the main reason I say it's not very practical is because, well, as Call of Duty has aged, there has been more improvements to the movement system. A lot of people are now sliding, they're jump shotting, drop shotting, whatever it may be, and in the past, like Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1, I would say by all means go for the head, because people weren't really jump shotting, drop shotting, or all that kind of stuff. You would run into the occasional tryhard back in the day, that's what everyone called them, like, oh, he's tryharding, he drop shots, he jump shots, but in reality, the majority of people were not doing that back in the day. So it was a lot easier to aim for the head, and nowadays it's just not very practical whenever people are changing their stance constantly. If you're aiming for the head and someone jumps, obviously now you're going to be hitting their chest. So I just recommend aiming for chest high, let the recoil get you headshots. Again, if you're up close, it might be a lot more beneficial just to go for the head because it's going to be a bigger target there, but majority of the times I would say go ahead and just aim chest high, let the recoil do its thing for headshots, and you'll find a lot more success that way, because whenever you try going for the head and someone starts using some sort of advanced movement on you, you're just going to lose track of that person, and that's going to be missed shots, and you would have had a much faster time to kill by just aiming chest high. Anyways, hopefully this video has helped you out, and hopefully you guys will begin to improve your aim and stuff like that, or if you already have good aim and you just wanted to see just some tips or whatnot, hopefully then you enjoyed this video. Again, if you did enjoy this video, a rating would be appreciated, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.